Welcome back, my fellow creators, to Adventure Gaming, and welcome back to Zicky AG's journey into Minecraft. Now, a lot has happened since the previous episode. I've made a lot of progress on the world. Now, I know it's kind of blasphemous because I said in the first episode that I make sure you see every block placed, but the house just took so long in the previous few episodes that I wanted to get as much of the boring stuff out of the way as I could so that we could get on to some better things. So, of course, we here have Snoopy and Betty joining us once again, but we have a new member of our crew who seems to be stuck in my well, but yeah. So I'll first show the updates to the house. So, first thing I did is I added these like sorts of rings across, like inside of the roof there, just to make it look a little bit better. If we go further away, then you'll be able to see. I also made a smoky chimney. I just put some trapdoors around a couple fireplaces on there. I think that's an improvement. And I'll show you the decorations for inside the house. Welcome home. I've tried furnishing this as best as I could. So, in my opinion, every house has to have a fireplace, so I've got this little fireplace here. I absolutely love it. I got the smoker right next to it, which is where I cook. This is the kitchen area. I've got all my food stored up here. And, you know, this is where I chop meat or whatever. I've got my basin. This is the table where I eat. I got a little shelf right there with a plate and a cup and stuff. You know, the typical things. I have this little chair here with a little coffee table, which is where I like to sit with me and my doggies in front of the fire. Eventually, though, I'm going to have like a carpet around here, but I want it to be a magenta and purple carpet. Those are like my favorite colored walls in this game. But I can't make it until I get lapis lazuli, so that's going to have to wait. We got a bookshelf here in the corner, looking pretty nice. This is my little study, my little desk area. I'm thinking about having a diary here where I could write down just some things, you know, about my Minecraft journey. What are you doing, dog? Snoopy, woo! You spin me right round, baby, right round like... Oh, okay. Anyway, and this is where I sleep. We got one of my favorite paintings right above my bed and some more books and stuff. And here's my lucky cat. We may as well put on this lucky cap if I can get it off the armor stand. There we go. We're going to put on this lucky cat because I intend to go mining within these 3 next episodes. So I'd like my lucky cap on for that when we do it. Anyway, so I've done some more decorating around the house. Like I've made a path and put some tall grass everywhere, just to make it a little bit more lived in. There's this tiny little bridge going over this makeshift river that I made, going into the actual big proper river. This is my small garden. We got all kinds of things growing. We got beetroot, carrots, potatoes, wheat, and pumpkins. We got all kinds in here. This is also my well. This is where I gather water. I'm very, very proud of this well. I like it a lot. And for some reason, my llama is in the well. I'm not sure what I'm going to name this guy, so if people would like to suggest some stuff in the comments, then you can do that. Basically, the story here is I was traveling late one night, and I came across this guy on the riverbanks, and his owner, the wandering trader who owned him, had just been killed. And I tried to save his brother who was trying to defend himself, the other llama, but he was also killed right in front of my very eyes. So I was determined to get this guy away. And he's actually awesome, because when mobs come up to like when baby zombies and stuff come up to the wall and want to attack me, he's this awesome little like projectile who stops them from coming over the wall. So the house is pretty well defended. And then over here is just like a small little makeshift shed I made. Right now it's just filled to the brim with all of the junk that I own. But eventually I'm going to organize it a little more, and all of the stuff that's in these chests are going to have like more places to be stored in that. But let me get on to the next project. So I have built this little pathway with a few of these lamps around the place. I really, really like these. So I built this pathway which leads over into this this big flat area, and I'm sure you can see that over there. So the next thing we're going to build is a mine shaft. So I've got a little bit of a makeshift like crafting and storage area here ready to build it. And this is the little cave section, the little quarry where I mined out all of the stone to build my house and everything. I love seeing the smoke on the horizon there. And yeah, and I just thought, like, you know, I've hollowed this area out anyway. Why don't I turn it into my mine? So we're just going to build this little room, or start off building this little room in today's episode. That goes all the way down to Y -50, because that's the level where diamonds spawn. And I've already found a few diamonds myself down there while I was hollowing it out. But yeah, like I said, we're going to focus on this. So let's very quickly head back to the cottage and sleep. And then we are going to get to work on this bad boy. So while we're heading over, I will explain like the design. So the walls are going to be made out of stone bricks. I know, how original. But the floor I'm going to make out of gravel, just because I want to really solidify that this is a mining zone. It's a workman's area. We're not going to have pretty floors. It's going to be a gravelly grey floor that you have to step on when going into the mines. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to do the smooth stone, like this kind of smooth stone, for the ceiling. And then I have a few other designs and cool things. And that room is basically just going to be filled with like chests for storage and stuff. I'm also going to have a few armor stands to store like so many different sets of armor and pickaxes and swords, just so that I can go on these massive mining journeys and I just have so much, like so many tools and resources at my disposal for when I need them. So first thing we need to do is we need to begin smelting some stone. So if I just take a stack here and we begin smelting it in 2 of these furnaces, and then we can smelt them into smooth stone after that, so that we can, or like the smooth stone, so that we can then create the ceiling. And while it's doing that, let's hollow out the ground and place in the gravel. So we might need to get some more gravel, because yeah, 19, I'm definitely not going to have enough. So let's get started, shall we? Alright, so yeah, that is definitely not enough. But there are a few gravel patches down here, so I guess we could just come harvesting all of it, if I can find it. It's lucky I also installed these stairs, because then it would take forever to get up and down this mine. But eventually I'm of course going to put a minecart track in the middle, so that's why I've left out the middle. Doggies down the mines, mine dogs. I'm pretty sure they did have dogs in mines at one point, but I could be wrong. Correct me if I am. There we go. The ground is filled in. Let's go check on our stone. Nicely smelted. Now we're going to smelt all of this. So yeah, we're definitely going to need a lot of this stone, because I just counted we need 81 for that roof in there. So let's get to it, boys. So in the corners though, I'll show you what we're going to have in the corners. So if we take, oh yeah, and this is going to use up even more stone. So the walls in between are going to be made out of the stone bricks, but in these like corner sections, I'm going to make these kinds of pillar things. Again, just to give some more visual detail and not make everything look so samey, even though most of it is just boring grey blocks. And there we go. That's the roof, all filled in. Now let's start building up the walls. So we need much more smooth stone to make these slabs so that we can build up each of the corners. So let's continue smelting. Perfect! With only 1 slab to spare. Right, so now in between each of these corners is just going to be regular stone bricks. So More smelting! You dogs enjoying yourselves, having a good time in the rain? By the way, I invited a friend into this world who's gone off and built a secret base. I have no idea where it is, and I guarantee you he's the one who made this. I guarantee it, because there's no way in hell this is natural, and I definitely would have spotted this the first time. He said about claiming 2 islands, so I assume those 2 islands are somewhere out there. I'll find you, Bash. I'll find you if it's the last thing I do. Anyway, back to the mines. Okay, but I'm pretty sure you guys get the gist of it already. So then once I've just finished that little bit there, we're then going to put fences going up in each of the corners just to add a little bit of like, well, what looks like supports to hold up the ceiling. I think that would look pretty cool. Anyway, but speaking of which, I hear zombies walking around, so I think we're gonna head off to bed. Because yeah, it will get rid of the bad weather, and I really don't want to be dealing with anything. No, 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 no! Don't shoot me, skeleton. Dogs, please. Creeper under the tree. Please, no one hurt me. Please, I beg of you. Luckily, I brought these saplings over because I knew I would have to cut down some trees at some point. Hopefully no creepers sneak up on me. It's always in tree areas creepers know how to sneak up on a man. Just like that, to hold up everything. Then I need a tree stump in the middle. And then we're gonna have a few beams going across the ceiling like this. Sorry, just put a torch there. Need to keep the place bright so that no creepy crawlies spawn in here. Oh wow, we had just the right amount. So yeah, we have some supports. Now this is starting to look more like a mineshaft, you know? Looking good in my opinion. Now we can start moving some things inside. So I need loads of barrels and loads of chests. And then I love doing this like cool barrel pattern where they go up like this. So they kind of look like supports, but yes, you can still store stuff in them. I always love those barrel stacks. So put them up like that. Looking good. Looking good. I'm super happy. This place is looking packed. It's looking busy. It's looking like there's a lot of stuff going on in here, and I'm proud of it. So things like general stones, so deep slay, andesite, cobble, all that stuff is going to be stored in these barrels, and then in the chests we're going to have all of our riches, like all of our iron, our gold and stuff, but none of it's going to be smelted. It's all going to be the raw stuff, because something else I want to build just outside of here is a blacksmith, a fully functioning blacksmithing building, but that's for another episode. So let's quickly finish this up so I can finish up the episode, and so that we can head deep down into the caves. And outside you can just hear this zombie getting blasted by this llama, dude. Look at it. Go! Go! Don't let him burn to death. Kill him! Yeah, that's it, my guy. Woo! And that's why you always want a pet llama. Okay, so this is how things are going to be organized. So this side, we're going to have all kinds of weapons. We're going to have swords and bows all up here in these item frames. But I need more leather in order to make those, because there's not enough cows in a reasonable vicinity for me to actually make them. So we need to do that. And in here is where we're going to store like rows and rows of pickaxes and spades and just everything we'll need. And not only that, TNT as well. But in order to do that, we need to gather plenty more resources by actually going down the mines. So that's what we're going to do next episode. And another project is we're going to need to build up this minecart track, which is cool because we know that down that cave we went in the in episode 5 that there is a mine shaft down there, so we can go and extract some used minecart tracks instead of having to make new ones. So that is the end of today's episode. We got quite a bit done, but next episode we're going to go on another adventure. We're going to head deep underground and hopefully find some caves, and it's not just going to be a waste of time with me strip mining. And yeah, it's going to be fun. So if you enjoyed this video, then make sure to leave it a thumbs up, and also don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell if you don't want to miss a single upload.